Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, dear devotees. We are reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 14, the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have read how Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra saw the marks of, they saw footprints on the floor with the symbols of Lord Narayan on them, and they were very happy, thinking that their Shaligram Shila is playing around, Damodar, Krishna, is playing around in their house. And then meanwhile, as they were discussing with each other, Nimai cried, baby Nimai, little infant. And then Sachimata immediately picked him up. He woke up from sleep and he was crying. So she picked him up and she started breastfeeding him. When she noticed on his soles, the soles of his feet, she saw the same marks that were there on the floor. Then she called Jagannath Mishra over and she showed him, see, these are the same footprints that we saw. So Jagannath Mishra, he privately called Nilambar Chakravarti to find out. And Nilambar Chakravarti said, I had noted this at the time of his birth itself, appearance itself. And I did astrological calculation. And he has all the 32 symbols of a Mahapurusha. So yesterday we also discussed what these 32 marks of the body are. Yes? Anyone remembers? I doubt anyone remembers. But there is physically, when you look at the body parts, 5 parts of the body are broad, are large, then 5 of them are fine, 7 of them are reddish, 6 of them are raised, 3 are small, and 3 are broad, and 3 are, what's the last 3? There's one more. Last 3 is something. And then Srila Prabhupada actually gave which organs, which parts are raised, which parts are broad, which parts are small, which are reddish, like that, fine, large. So when someone has, and Nilambar Chakravarti said, in this baby I find all 32. I see all 32 symptoms. Not only that, when he appeared, the time, what was the situation of the whole world when he appeared? Everyone was so happy. He made everyone happy by his appearance. So in the previous chapter we saw when Mahaprabhu appeared, how everyone was so joyful and they were celebrating. There was no question of poverty. Everyone was distributing gifts, so many gifts, and everyone was happy. So Nilambar Chakravarti suggested that now you should perform his name giving ceremony because today is an auspicious tithi. So what is auspicious for devotees? Any festival means if it is in connection with Lord Narayan, then it is auspicious. So they worship Lord Narayan, they offer nice foodstuffs to Lord Narayan, and then they offer that prasadam. They feed Brahmanas and Vaishnavas that prasadam, and that's the festival. So today is auspicious tithi, so you can do the name giving ceremony. That means you worship Lord Narayan also that day. So Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra became very happy and they decided to celebrate the name giving ceremony of uh, Nimai Pandit. Pandit not yet, he's Nimai now, baby Nimai. And also um, the name that was suggested by Nilambar Chakravarti, or the name given by Nilambar Chakravarti is Vishwambhar. Vishwambhar, why? Because he's the maintainer, he's the protector of all the living entities in the entire Vishwa, universe. So in that context, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the maintainer. When he was there, of course, but also it's not that he's gone now. His movement is still going on. So through the Hare Krishna movement, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is still bringing happiness to everyone. He's Vishwambar, he's maintaining everyone. And Srila Prabhupada said how in the Western countries you will see, especially in the Western countries, all over everywhere, but especially uh, they were all drug addicts, they were hippies, and how they were so much in gratitude after taking to Krishna consciousness, how they have become so happy, and how much gratitude they were expressing in thousands of letters to Srila Prabhupada, like that. So, where were we? I'll just go back. Text 19. Text 19. In the future, this child, so this is Nilambar Chakravarti predicting, in the future, this child will protect and maintain all the world. For this reason, he is to be called Vishwambhar. Now we'll continue with text 20. Shuni Sachi Mishrera Mane Ananda Badila Brahmana Brahmani Ani Mahotsava Koila. So, is Achintadev Prabhu here? Arunita? Nobody. Okay. So we'll start with Isha.
After hearing Nilambar Chakravarti's prediction, Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra observed the name-giving festival in great joy, inviting all the Brahmanas and their wives.
So they actually did the festival. Krishna Ashish purport.
It is the Vedic system to observe all kinds of festivals, including birthday festivals, marriage festivals, name-giving festivals, and festivals marking the beginning of education, by especially inviting Brahmanas. In every festival, the Brahmanas are to be fed first, and when the Brahmanas are pleased, they bless the festival by chanting Vedic mantras or the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Yes, right. So feeding Brahmanas is essential. Whenever you do any festival, you must feed prasadam, and you should feed that too specifically to Brahmanas. So this is in the Vedic system, by the way. Okay, and what to speak of if you can get a Vaishnava, then that's the best. Advaita Acharya feeds Haridas Thakur as the first person to feed was Haridas Thakur. So Brahmana is not the criterion. Why Brahmana? because in the Vedic society you have Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So of all those, Brahmana is the best. And also feeding Brahmanas, Krishna says, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagatitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Nama. Right? So Krishna is very, the Brahmanas are very dear to Krishna. Several instances we will see. Krishna says, I'm more pleased when you feed, I eat more with great pleasure when you feed the Brahmanas. I eat through the mouths of the Brahmanas. When you offer nice foodstuffs cooked in ghee and you feed Brahmanas, I relish that more, that I eat through their mouths, than when you put grains in the fire sacrifice, like that. And also, now we are reading in Srimad Bhagavatam, there also, when Diti performed this, not Diti, Aditi, when she performed this Payovrata sacrifice, Payovrata. So after that Payovrata, the Lord appeared and she said, please let my sons get back the kingdom which is taken away by Bali Maharaj and the Daityas. So Lord Vishnu said, Bali is now protected by the Brahmanas. If a Brahmana gives any blessing, I have no power to take it back. So in this situation, I won't be able to, like by fighting and taking it back by power, that is not possible. Why? Because Bali is now protected by Brahmanas, and even I will not disturb the Brahmanas, right? When the Brahmanas do something, I don't interfere with that, like that. So we see that Krishna, has great, affection for the Brahmanas. So when you feed so in any festival, it is essential that you should feed the Brahmanas. And in the 7th canto also we'll see, there it is said, if you can feed a Brahmana, it is a good. But if you get a Vaishnava, that is the best, first priority, because Vaishnavas are even ahead of Brahmanas, beyond the Brahmanas, like that. It is the Vedic system to observe all kinds of festival, whatever it is, because when you're grihasthas, you will have so many things. Children will be born, then you will have their name giving ceremony, hair cutting ceremony, first grain ceremony, then you'll have birthdays every year. What else? Vidyarambha ceremony, so many ceremonies are there. So grihasthas will do, but the whole idea of all these festivals is to remember Krishna, to glorify Krishna. So on every festival, you worship the Supreme Lord, and then you offer nice foodstuffs to the Lord. And it's not that you offer nice foodstuffs and you eat. No, you have to distribute. You have to distribute that prasadam to everyone. Yesterday, I was reading one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. That is also in the 7th canto. Similar, same, what I was telling you now in that context only. There it is said that you must feed everyone, like the demigods, the forefathers, family members, relatives, everyone you have to feed with what understanding? With the understanding that they are all the family of Krishna. They are all related to Krishna. With this understanding, you should feed everyone. That's the instruction. So whenever there's a festival, you have to feed. Prasadam distribution is essential, and you feed everyone. Of course, first you have to feed those who are most respectable, right, worshipable, and then you feed everyone else also. So in every festival, the Brahmanas are to be fed first. And when the Brahmins are pleased, what do? They bless the festival by chanting either the Vedic mantras or the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, they celebrated with great joy, they celebrated the name giving ceremony. And for this festival, they invited all the Brahmanas and their wives. Tabe koto dine prabhura janu chakramana Nana chamatkara tatha karaila darshana. Madhava. Unable to hear you. You're talking, but
After some days, the Lord began to crawl on his knees, and he caused various wonderful things to be seen.
After some days, the Lord began to crawl on his knees. So the Lord is growing up now. He's crawling on his knees. And he caused various wonderful things to be seen. Purport. Rasapriya.
The Chaitanya Bhagavatam describes that one day, while the Lord was crawling upon his knees, the bells on his waist ringing very sweetly, a snake came out to crawl in the yard of the Lord, who captured the snake like a curious child. Immediately, the snake coiled over him. The Lord as a child then rested on the snake, and after some time, the snake went away, leaving the Lord aside.
So the childhood pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Adi Lila, especially after the Lord's appearance and the childhood pastimes, they are given in great detail by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Bhagavat. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is written after. So therefore we see, and even Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, he said earlier in the Adi Lila, he says that he only wants to chew on the remnants of his predecessor, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. That means whatever he didn't write, on those topics he's going to cover, he's going to elaborate. But the topics which were already said by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he will simply, you know, very, scrolling over, like very quickly he'll pass by those by giving them in short sutra forms. That is why you don't see the pastimes, early childhood pastimes, being described in detail, but Srila Prabhupada explains them in the purports for us from Chaitanya Bhagavat. So that's why, so this is the Lord's pastime where when now he's crawling, so he's crawling in the backyard of the house, and one day there was a big snake that slithered and came inside the courtyard, and it coiled around, and baby Nimai, he went and sat on the coils of that snake. So when the parents and the neighbors saw that, they got so scared. Seeing their commotion, the snake immediately left that place and went away. But Nimai wanted the snake again. So they, as soon as the snake left, immediately they picked up the baby into their arms. But he was crying, he wanted to go back. He tried to get back to the snake and catch the snake. So who was that snake? It was actually Lord Anantasesh, Lord Balaram, who had come to see his Lord. So that's why it is said, after some days the Lord began to crawl on his knees, and he caused various wonderful things to be seen. The Chaitanya Bhagavat describes that one day while the Lord was crawling upon his knees, the bells on his waist ringing very sweetly, a snake came out to crawl in the yard of the Lord, who captured the snake like a curious child. He went and captured the snake. Immediately the snake coiled over him. Okay, so it coiled over him, it is said. So the Lord as a child then rested on the snake. So he rested on the coiled snake. And after some time, the snake went away, leaving the Lord aside. Like that it is said. Okay, next. So Rasapriya read already, right? You read? Okay. So Kalpesh Prabhu. Krandane rachale balaila hari nama, nari sabha hari bole hase gaura dhama.
Translation: The Lord caused all the ladies to chant the holy names of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra on the plea of his crying, and while they chanted, the Lord Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. The Lord caused all the ladies to chant the holy names. So this is right from day one when the Lord appeared. So, everyone here is from India, so when there's a baby, all the neighbors, they just come there in the house, and they're spending, children, ladies especially, they just come and spend practically all day. They will be there with the baby only, whether the mother is bathing or feeding, and they want to come. What to speak of if the baby is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this is a village setting, you can imagine. So they would come every day. Ladies would come, and he would cry. Baby Nimai would cry. And then as soon as they would start chanting the names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, he would stop crying and he would smile. So the Lord caused all the ladies to chant the holy names of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra on the plea of his crying. And while they chanted, the Lord would smile. Purport. Priyanka Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please
Hare
accept my
Krishna.
humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Shri Prabhupada.
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Bhagavata, this pastime is described as follows. The Lord, with his beautiful eyes, would cry, but he would stop immediately upon hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When the ladies, understanding the fun of the Lord, discovered that he would cry and then stop upon hearing the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, they all took it as a clue to chant Hare Krishna as soon as the Lord cried. Thus, it became a regular function. The Lord would cry, and the ladies would begin chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, clapping their hands. In this way, all the ladies of the neighboring houses would assemble in the home of Sachi Mata to join in the Sankirtana movement 24 hours a day. As long as the ladies continued to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Lord would not cry but would very pleasingly smile upon them.
I don't know if any of you have seen this shots that was circulated around. There was a small baby, like really, like he's sitting up, but
Hari Parshad Prabhu's son.
Oh, that is his son. My God.
Yes.
So Prabhuji is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. As soon as he would stop, the baby would cry bitterly like anything. And again he would start chanting, then the baby is happy. As soon as he would stop chanting, again he would start crying. So I am just remembering Nimai's pastime, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. So there wouldn't be a moment when he would not, he would allow them to stop chanting. As soon as they would stop chanting, he would cry, and then again they would all have to keep chanting. If they stop, then again he would cry. So in this way, 24/7 in the house of Sachimata, chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is going on. So yeah. So in the purport it is said, in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, this pastime is described as follows. The Lord with his beautiful eyes would cry, but he would stop immediately upon hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When the ladies, understanding the fun of the Lord, discovered that he would cry and then stop upon hearing the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, they all took it as a clue to chant Hare Krishna as soon as the Lord cried. Thus it became a regular function. The Lord would cry and the ladies would begin chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, clapping their hands. In this way, all the ladies of the neighboring houses would assemble in the home of Sachi Mata to join in the Sankirtan movement 24 hours a day. 24 hours, Sankirtan movement. The very appearance also happened with Sankirtan, and after that it didn't stop. It's going on continuously. As long as the ladies continued chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he would not cry, but he would smile very pleasingly. And this boy, Prabhuji's son, he would be literally, you can see when the father is chanting, he would be like relishing it nicely, as if he himself is chanting. And as soon as the father would stop, you can see him with tears coming down. Amazing. Next is Radhika Kasturi Mataji. तबे कत दिने कोइल पद चंक्रमण शिशु गणे मिली कोइल विविध खेलना.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
After some days, the Lord began to move his legs and walk. He mixed with other children and exhibited various sports.
Yeah. So crawling is over. Now he grew a little older. He's walking. So his walking means he goes outside the house. Neighbors, children, other children come and together they would play various games. He's just walking. Already they're playing various games together. We have 5 more minutes. Maybe we can read if it's only translations. Ekadina sachi khoi sandesha aniya bata bhari diya boila Khaota Basiya Isha.
One day, while the Lord was enjoying his playful sports, with the other little children. Mother Sachi brought a dish filled with fused rice and sweetmeats and asked the child to sit down and eat them.
Yes. So little Nimai, right? Small child walking. So he's playing with other kids. Sachimata brought a bowl filled with fused rice. Fused rice is like muri only, puffed rice, but it is, the other one, like it's kind of crumbled white one. So fused rice, and also she had some sweet meats in it. So she brought and she made the child to sit down to eat that. एत बोली गेला सची गृहे कर्म करिते लुकाया लागिला शिशु मृत्तिका खाइते.
But when she returned to her household duties, the child hid from his mother and began to eat dirt.
So the mother gave nice sweet meats and then she put it in front of the child, and then she went inside to take care of her household duties. And what did he do? He hid from his mother. Hid means secretly he's eating dirt. Instead of what she got, he's eating, hiding from his mother, he's eating dirt. I don't know, something with children. They like dirt, either to play with it or even eat it. Next. देखी सची धाना धाया आइला कोरी हाय हाय माटी काडी लया कहे माटी केनो खाए. Translation. Madhava.
Seeing this, Mother Sati had hastily returned and exclaimed, "What is this? What is this?" She snatched the dirt from the hands of the Lord and inquired why he was eating it.
When Sachimata saw that he's eating dirt, immediately she came, "What's going on? What is this? Why are you eating dirt?" Like that. And she snatched the dirt away from his hands. "I gave you nice sweetmeats. Why are you eating dirt? What's this?" So she's shocked. And she asked, why he's eating dirt. কান্দিয়া বলেন শিশু কেনে করো রোষা তুমি মাটি খাইতে দিলে মোরা কিবা দোষা. So what did Nimai say when Sachimata said, why you're eating dirt? Translation, Rasapriya.
Crying, the child inquired from his mother, "Why are you angry? You have already given me dirt to eat. What is my fault?"
So we have, what are the 5 gross elements? Pancha Mahabhuta: earth, water, fire, air, ether. So whatever gross things that you see in this world, gross means, we have a gross body and subtle body. Gross body is that which you are able to perceive. Okay. So the gross body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So anything that you see in this creation will have these 5 things only. So dirt is dirt outside. But what about the fruit pulp? What is that? It has some water portion and it has earth portion. Dirt is also earth. Fruit is also earth. What about rice? That is also earth, isn't it? Because whatever you see is nothing but a combination of earth, water, fire, air, ether. In fact, all things have all 5 different proportions. Some have more earth, some have less earth and more air, like that, but they all have. For example, you take a laddu, right? You take a bundi laddu. So what is that? Is there earth in that? Of course, that basin is what? It's earth. Is there what is after earth? Is there water? Yes. When you make the liquid, you add water in that, right? So water is there. Is there fire in bundi laddu? There is. How? Ghee is a form of fire only. Okay. So ghee, that is fire. And then what else? Is there air? Yeah, in bundi, empty space inside filled with air. Yes, air is there. And is there ether? Yes, ether, anything, ether is the space. Nothing can exist in this world. Everything occupies space. So whatever you take, there is space in that. So in that way, anything you see in this world is consisting of these elements. But primarily, the solids that we see, they are primarily consisting of earth. So Nimai is saying, my dear mother, you also gave me earth. You gave me fused rice and you gave me all these sweets. That is also earth. And I'm also eating earth. Why are you getting angry on me that I'm eating earth? You only gave me earth to eat and I'm eating earth here. What's the problem? Like that. So, Nimai here is talking Mayavad philosophy. The Mayavadis say everything is one, right? Everything is one. So there is no, they don't see any, what do you say? They don't see any attributes, right? It is like no attributes. Whatever you say, this is false. Or it's all actually, ultimately, it is all just one. So like that, Nimai is saying that this is also earth. What you gave me is also earth. So let's see what Sachimata says. Crying, the child inquired from his mother, why are you angry? You have already given me dirt to eat. What is my fault? खोई संदेश अन्न जते का माटीरा विकार एहो माटी सेहो माटी की भेद विचार. So next, you read, right? Rasapriya? You read? Okay. Kalpesh Prabhu?
Fused rice, sweet meat, eatables are but transformation of dirt. This is, please consider what is Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he's saying, whatever you gave me, fused rice, sweet meats, and whatever other eatables, you give me chakli and you give me, whatever you give me, it's nothing but it's a transformation of dirt. That dirt only, just like in the dirt you put a seed, yes, from the seed. So what is that seed? How the seed turned into a tree? It's taking things from the dirt. So the dirt is transformed into this plant, and in that plant, the fruit, whatever is coming, where it is all coming from, it's taking everything from the earth. So the earth itself is transformed into food. Whatever food you're giving me, it is nothing but a transformation of dirt. So you gave me dirt. This is also dirt. That is also dirt. What is the difference between them? Like this, he's saying. Please consider this. Mati deha mati bhaksha dekha vichari avichare deha dosha ki bolite pari. Translation, Priyanka Mataji.
This body is a transformation of dirt, and the eatables are also a transformation of dirt. Please reflect upon this. You are blaming me without consideration. What can I say?
Little Nimai is saying, small Nimai, that this body is a transformation of dirt. So now, just like the food is transformation of dirt. And what is this body? When the body first appeared, it appeared as a small, some small pea-like formation in the mother. And now that body has turned into this. How? What went into this body that it became like this? It's food, right? So by taking that food, this body is growing like this. So what is that food? That is the taking from earth. So earth transformed into food, and that food transformed into this body. So ultimately, what is this body? This body is also a transformation of dirt. So this body is a transformation of dirt, and the eatables are also a transformation of dirt. Please reflect upon this. You are blaming me without consideration. What can I say? Purport. Radhika Kasturi Mataji. One second, let me see if it's too big. Oh, okay, go ahead. Read Mataji. We'll just finish it.
Okay. So this is the explanation of Mayavad philosophy, which takes everything to be one. The necessities of the body, namely eating, sleeping, mating, defending, are all unnecessary in spiritual life. When one is elevated to the spiritual platform, there will be no more bodily necessities, and all the activities pertaining to the bodily necessities, there will be no there are no spiritual considerations. In other words, the more we eat, sleep, and have sex and try to defend ourselves, the more we engage in material activities. Unfortunately, Mayavadi philosophers consider devotional activities to be bodily activities. They cannot understand the simple explanation of Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mam chayo avya bicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samati taitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Anyone who engages in spiritual devotional service without motivation, rendering. Mataji, should I continue or somebody else?
Okay, continue, Mataji. Just continue.
Anyone who engages in spiritual devotional service without motivation, rendering such service for the satisfaction of the Lord, is elevated immediately to the spiritual platform, and all his activities are spiritual. Brahma Bhuyaya refers to Brahman spiritual activities. Although Mayavadi philosophers are eager to merge in the Brahman effulgence, they have no Brahman activities. To a certain extent, they recommend Brahman activities, which for them means engagement in studying in Vedanta and Sankhya philosophies, but their interpretations are but dry speculation. Lacking the varieties of spiritual activity, they cannot stay for long on the platform of simply studying Vedanta or Sankhya philosophy.
Continue, Mataji.
Life is meant for varieties of enjoyment. The living entity is by nature full of enjoying spirit, as stated in Vedanta Sutra, Anandamayo Abhyasat. In devotional service, the activities are variegated and full of enjoyment, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.2. All devotional activities are easy to perform, susukum kartum, and all eternal and spiritual, avyayam. Since Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand this, they cannot take it for granted that devotees' activities, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, etc., are all material and therefore Maya. They also consider Krishna's advent in this universe and his activities to be Maya. Therefore, because they consider everything Maya, they are known as Mayavadis.
Yeah. Okay, Mataji. Well, I'll just finish the last two paragraphs, but we will discuss it tomorrow. We don't have time to discuss it today. We'll just read it and we'll go over it again tomorrow. Actually, any activities performed favorably for the satisfaction of the Lord under the direction of the spiritual master are spiritual. But for a person to disregard the order of the spiritual master and act by concoction, accepting his nonsensical activities to be spiritual, is Maya. One must achieve the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the mercy of the spiritual master. Therefore, one must first please the spiritual master. And if he is pleased, then we should understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also pleased. But if the spiritual master is displeased by our actions, they are not spiritual. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur confirms this. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasadan nagati kutopi. Activities that please the spiritual master must be considered spiritual, and they should be accepted as satisfying to the Lord. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the supreme spiritual master, instructed his mother about the Mayavad philosophy. By saying that the body is dirt and eatables are also dirt, he implied that everything is Maya. This is Mayavad philosophy. The philosophy of the Mayavadis is defective because it maintains that everything is Maya. But the nonsense everything is Maya, but the nonsense they speak, that is not Maya. While saying that everything is Maya, the Mayavadi philosopher loses the opportunity of devotional service, and therefore his life is doomed. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore advised Mayavadi Bhashya Shunile Hoy Sarvanash. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 6, text 169. If one accepts the Mayavad philosophy, his advancement is doomed forever. So we will do this again tomorrow. We will discuss it. I will explain it tomorrow. So I will end here. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, just wanted to share one thing. Since we are talking about His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu, he came here to Sacramento and he was discussing Hari Shuri's Bhakti Rasayan, and in that he happened to bring up this point that Krishna, why did he eat earth? Why did he eat dirt? And then for that we have a beautiful explanation that is given by Hari Suri, and he brought it forward for us. And he said Krishna is eating dirt because it is nothing but the dust of the Vaishnavas, the gopis, that he's eating. So
Wow.
this is the explanation that he gave. That is the reason. I was just blown away by that. It just is still remaining in my heart. And when we were discussing this, obviously, I just got reminded of that.
Thank
So
you.
just
Thank you
wanted
so
to
much.
share it across, Mataji. Hare
Very
Krishna.
nice. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you all devotees.